Right, we're back. We're back. After the game decided to crash. Yeah, Q1 has already started, a few minutes in. It feels a bit weird to be back on F1 22 after I played a little bit F1 2020. Gravity on a flying lap. Tilted as well on a flying lap. Tilted's first sector 22.351. Behind him, the closest is Gravity in the Williams. To be on a flying lap, he spins in turn 3. But a weird spin though. I guess a very oversteery setup. I'm assuming. We'll follow Tilted, who's coming to an end to the second sector, 52.269. Second sector, and now the third sector. Turn 11, turn 12 now. Down to Turkey, a little bit wide. Turn 13 now. And into the chicane, turn 14, 15. Oh, a little bit of a moment on the exit, but turn 16 now. He still managed to keep it on track, and crossing the line he goes. P1 119.205. Niklas goes P2 120.113. The next should be Hudson crossing the line 54.063 second sector, so he's going to be even behind Niklas. A 121.588 from the Haas. From Matt, he goes P1 119.079. Next car to cross the line, that's I think Lars, or no, that was Martin. Hudson even spins there. I'm so confused what's happening on track. Hennessy is starting his flying lap. No, he has finished it, but now he's starting another one. There's a that's a Reggie spun, and damages front wing. Well, I think he blocks a Mercedes that was Coke, maybe on the flying lap, but that's his flying lap gone with a broken front wing. Shazai starting his flying lap. Behind him, Stag. No, that's not Stag. Stag. A very terrible third sector, I must say. A 54.067 flying lap. Another Williams crossing the line. That's Martin, who goes P7 140.755. And then should be that's Matt. Then Marco's here. He's gonna be starting his flying lap. Gravity. Let's see if he's improving on his lap. I mean, not really much of, would say, improvement. Or he is improving on his time, but it could be even behind Hudson. No, he's going to be ahead of Hudson. 120.268. Lamar's goes P1 118.775. Hennessy crosses the line and he goes P4 119.266 on the mediums. Just takes the tires noise out on the track on the inters. A very interesting Noise is going to be finishing his lap. And he goes P8 to 123.018. Sparko finishing his lap. And that's P1 118.720. But Shaza immediately takes back with 117.846. Stack crossing line, and he goes P7 119.715 from the Alpha Tauri. Gravity improves his time. Oh, no, that was Martin who improved his time to 120.134. Mark on a flying lap. 52.583 second sector, third sector, yet that's not. I mean, he could, with that, he could be somewhere up there. He goes P6, 119.233 in the Haas. Alex is, I think, starting his flying lap. Yeah, he's starting his flying lap. Then the two McLarens behind him, but they're gonna be going in. Who's the next car to be on the up front? Well, Alex didn't get any traffic, luckily, on his way. Noise is gonna be going in the to the pits. Gravity already retires in the pits, feeling confident about his lap, but there's still Reggie, Gemini, Alex, who's first sector 22.448. Tilda retires in the pits, I mean P5. Still, we'll see if Alex can get to a semi-decent time. And as well, we'll see what Gemini, Coke and Reggie will do. Reggie's going to be going up there with his teammate Shazza, but we'll see where the two Mercedes drivers are going to be going. Tom joins into the... Ah, that's Alba, I think. That is Alba. 52.363 from Alex. Apparently purple second sector. Although getting close with the limits. Not the most ideal line through the chicane, I must say. Through the last corner, and he goes P2, 118.683 from the Ferrari. Regional outlap starting his flying lap. That's Hudson as well starting his flying lap. Oreo as well is going to be starting his flying lap shortly. We'll look at Reggie's flying lap through the first corners now into turn 3. And the first sector is going to be a 22.373 through the first sector, apparently purple second sector, the first sector, into turn 5. Yeah, nice and tidy. On the exit, taking as much of the curve as possible. Now into turn 7 and 8. A corner that you can very easily lose it here, and he didn't lose it. And into turn 9, little lift. Down to 6 and immediately back up to 7. Deers open and going into turn 10, 51.837. Now into turn 11 and into turn 12. Long right-hander. Nicely done. Turn 13 and into turn 14, 15 and turn 16. That chicane was way better done from Reggie compared to Alex, and Reggie crosses the line. He goes P2, 117.989. Hudson, meanwhile, on a flying lap where he goes. He stays 14th with 121.185. Chris starts his flying lap. We'll look where Oreo is going to be putting his Aston Martin at. Already at 116 here, 17, 18, that's gonna be 121, maybe even 121.097, just ahead of Hudson, but a long way to Gravity. One of the Mercedes, that's Gemini, who spins on the exit of the final corner to start his flying lap. Well, now he's gonna lose some massive amount of time because of that exit. There's, in my opinion, there will be no point of starting this lap actually, and just maybe do another run on the same set of softs. Coke is going to be finishing his lap, the last corner, not doing the same mistake as Gemini, and Coke crosses the line. He goes P6, 118.820. Behind him, Marco starting his flying lap. Then let's look at Chris. 53.835. Second sector, and Chris crosses the line. He goes P17, 121.365. Almost 2/10 down on Hudson. And Chris is down in the bottom 15. Yes, Gemini is still pushing on his lap. 52.875 through the second sector. Up front of him there is a McLaren, that's Lamas. Hopefully he doesn't interrupt his lap time. Oh, he does! Oh, that was very dangerous from Lamas. A last second avoidance, or I don't know how to call it. Gemini goes P12, 119.548, but there's definitely more time to find. Definitely more time to find. But that's the way that Lamas led through Gemini is just one of the worst ways to let through a driver. I mean, it's just so bad. You just let through someone on the last second, and the driver behind you just doesn't know, does he have to take a avoidance action or what. Noise meanwhile went up to P2 117.925. Didn't realize. Shadow starts his flying lap again. Tom, or Albo basically, starts his flying lap. That's Coke, I think, starting a flying lap. Or another one, I think. There should be Niklas coming across the line shortly. And is he gonna improve on his time? It looks like that he is gonna improve up to P12, 119.538. 100th out of Gemini, but Gemini immediately beats that to 118.585. That's what I meant. He had the time on the table, and he is safely through into the Q2. Really should be. The yellow flags, that's for Gemini, who lets through an Alpine. The clouds are still here. I mean, it looks like that it's gonna rain, but it's still not raining. Well, now the sun wants to pull out from the clouds, so it's getting a brighter stack crossing the line, and he goes P13, 119.399, pushing Niklas down to P14. Noise retires in the pits. Tom goes up to P10, 119.178. Next cross the line, that's gonna be well, that's Niklas, but he's gonna be going into the pits, I believe. Shaza behind him had some moments as well. That's an Alpine and a McLaren, and down the back that was Sparko, and I believe that was Hennessy. I guess Sparko was on a flying lap. Now he is basic. Okay, now that's sort of. Well, I don't know what these two are doing, but alright, alright. Lamar's been going into the pits behind him. That's Martin starting a flying lap. Gravity is already out of the qualifying as he is down in P17 and retired in the pits, weirdly. After sending his lap. Marco is going to be crossing the line, and he's going to start his flying lap. Is there anyone out on the flying lap? I mean, Hennessy is on a flying lap, 2.5 tenths up on his time. That's to his medium tire lap. We have to remember that Tom going into the pits. Matt, no, that's here's Axel. Not Axel. Alex starting a flying lap behind Stag, and that is Chris into the pits. Chris, who's still is the last driver at the moment, down in P20. Marco, no, that wasn't Marco, that was Hudson crossing line, and no, I think he's starting a flying lap. Hennessy goes up to P1, 117.665. Shaza, is he gonna start? No, I mean, he doesn't even have enough fuel to start another one. That's Orieo, I believe, who is not improving, but he gets a beautiful slipstream to start this another flying lap. So that gives maybe a 10th for him. Although that turn one wasn't the best to take those curbs. Marker goes up to P10, 118.852. Next curve to cross line, that's gonna be Alex, but he's not improving, and he spins in turn 10. Hudson on a flying lap. He's improving to the second sector. Yes, he is by half a tenth, but he needs to gain a lot more through this final sector to at least have a hope to get into the Q2. We'll see what he will do. Final corner, and it's not gonna be even there. He's gonna be 18th, 120.455 on Mars retires. Hennessy is going into the pits. Yep. Coke, meanwhile, starting his flying lap. No, that wasn't Nicholas, that's Oriel, who isn't improving on his time. And he doesn't improve on his time, he stays 19th. Matt goes up to P3, 117.904. Marco goes into the pits. And Niklas is still out there, starting his flying lap. I have still no idea how much time there is. Only 20 seconds to go, and Niklas invalidates his flying lap, or basically starting his flying lap, and he's now stuck down in P15. Martin goes up to P16. No, he was in P16, so he has still this one lap to go. And Niklas has already spun. I mean, he had already his time invalidated already in the first sector, or even before that first sector. And Hudson spins in turn 13, or on the exit of turn 13. He wasn't even improving on his time through the second sector, so he's out of qualifying. Chris is out of qualifying. Oriel isn't improving on his time, so he's out as well. Hudson is out. Gravity is out. Martin, is he gonna be able to get himself up into top 15, basically meaning Q2, second sector? Is he improving? No, he's not. 27,000 down. He needs to gain 2.5 tenths, over 2.5 tenths through this final sector. Can he do it? Turn 13, and he's on the used set of softs as well. Aggressively through the curbs and the last corner, and there's activating. Does he go ahead of Niklas? No, he doesn't. He doesn't improve on his time. He stays 16th, so Niklas barely makes it into the Q2, and this is Q1 over. So we have Martin, Gravity, Hudson, Oreo, and Chris staying in the bottom 15. Hennessy goes fastest in Q1. Shaza P2, Matt P3. By the way, Shaza and Matt have 5-second time penalties for the race, from the probably getting from the previous race. Noise in P4, Reggie P5, Gemini P6. Massive gap between Reggie and Gemini. I mean, that's almost 6 tenths. Alex P7. Sparko P8, Lamas P9, Coke P10, Marco P11, Albo P12, Tilted 13th, Stack 14th, and Niklas 15th. And then Martin, Gravity, Hudson, Oreo, and Chris down in the bottom 15. Tilted actually got it right with this when he retired his car in the first minutes of the Q1. He got it actually right. Unlike Gravity, who didn't get it right with this retirement. Now we go into Q2. This is more of a now challenge for the midfielders to get the timings right. I might as well talk about the standings now. So, right, these are the. Oh yeah, these are the from the round 2. So Matt is leading by 30 points. Shaza in P2 28 points. Noise third with 25 points. Tilted 24 points. Dirk 19 points. By the way, Tilted and Dirk, they are AlphaTauris. That's what makes it even impressive. Reggie down in 6th, the reigning champion. Hennessy in 7th. Coke 8th. Gemini 9th. And Sparko 8th, 10th. I should have probably talked about points. Lars 11th, Holt 12th, Gravity 13th, and then Marco, Luke, Greca, Richa, Lamar's Bell, who has been banned, and then Albo have no points. For the constructors, Ferrari is leading with 46 points. Tori second, 43 points. Red Bull third with 41 points. Alpine fourth with 33 points. Mercedes fifth with 22 points. McLaren sixth, 13 points. Williams seventh with 11 points. Aston Martin 6 points in eighth. And then Alfa Romeo ninth and Haas 10th with 0 points. So yeah, drivers have already started their flying laps. Tilted has started his flying lap, and as well as Alex. Let me just get the lap data because I didn't have it in the first place. And as well, tires. If someone is out on the mediums, Alex is first sector 22.552. But now we will go with Tilted as Sparkus crashes in turn 2. I mean, that's not an easy corner as well to make a mistake. I mean, it is a very easy corner to make a mistake if you're on no traction control. But as well, it's a very weird one to make a mistake and as well crash in there. Since usually you spin on the exit of turn 1 and you don't carry that much speed to actually go as far as into the barriers and actually crash out, but Sparkle somehow managed to do that. Tilted goes up into P1, 119.193. Behind him, his teammate starts his flying lap. Alex is finishing his flying lap, and he goes P1, 118.550. Then here comes Reggie into the chicane and into the far corner, turn 16. And there's open, and he goes P1, 117.726. Behind him there's his teammate Shaza in P2, 118.308, and Albo in P5, 119.763. I'm assuming Shaza got a bit blocked by Albo on his lap, but Albo was as well in his lap, so he can't really do anything about that, can he? Lamas finishing his lap 52.177 second sector, and then finishing his lap in P3, 118.436. Marco on his flying lap as well. Behind him there's his, or not his, but Tilted, who spins on the exit of turn 13 and he hits the wall. Possibly front wing damage or even front wing gone. Marco crosses the line and he goes P6, 119.385. We'll see quickly. Tilted has even a front wing. No, we can't even see that we have a front wing. Stack goes P6, 119.216. So both of the authorities are very, very close indeed between each other. Stag letting through Hennessy, I believe. Yeah, he's letting through Hennessy. Niklas starting his flying lap. Mats has invalidated his lap. And Apple doesn't want to be left. Oh no, he cuts the chicane. Matt starts his yet again a flying lap. Hennessy meanwhile 22.367 seconds first sector. Niklas has problems, 28.422. I mean, there were yellow flags for him in the first sector, and he's going incredibly slow. Stack going as well incredibly slow on his in lap. Might as well causing yellow flags. He's going as well slow, so he's as well backed out of his lap. Hennessy 52.206 second sector, and now turn 16. And there's open. Crosses the line, he goes P3, 118.317, just 9 thousandths behind Shaza. but importantly for McLaren, they are close between each other. That's a little bit more than a tenth between them. So it's a very good thing for McLaren to have both of the drivers up there on the top. Niklas finishes lap with 1:31.261. Stag goes into the pits. Matt still out there, and he has no fuel remaining to start another one. I mean, he has a little bit of fuel, but that won't be enough to start another one and finish a lap with that amount of fuel. Noise out, going out on track. Alex as well. Hennessy on an in lap. Niklas is on a flying lap, I guess. 22.692 first sector. Now through the turn 9. I'm more concerned about his fuel. 0.4 laps of fuel. 53.112 for second sector, but I'm more concerned about his fuel. I don't think he's gonna be able to make it with that amount of fuel to the finish line and not go into the low fuel mode. It's 0.20. Yeah, I guess he is gonna make it. 0.1. Yeah, he's gonna make it with that amount of fuel. Here goes P9, 118.758. Just the right amount to make it through the finish line and not go into the low fuel mode. Alex is improving through the first sector by over 1.5 tenths. I'm not gonna say 1/10 and 3/4. Alex second sector now over 2 tenths faster, so at the moment he'll be going ahead of Hennessy. No, behind Hennessy. Sorry, behind Hennessy. So between the McLarens. But can he find a little bit more time to go ahead of Hennessy and maybe even ahead of Shazza temporarily? Through the final corner. And Alex crosses the line. He goes P2, 117.937. Easily ahead of Shazza by almost 4 tenths. But Shazza, I suspected that he was blocked through the third sector by Albo, so he could as well improve on his time if he is able to. Tilted starts his flying lap now. Niklas is on an in lap. Shazza is starting his flying lap as well as Noise. I think no, he's finishing his lap. And Noise crosses the line and he goes P5, 118.376, slotting himself between the two McLarens. Tilted first sector is improving by 14 thousandths. And apparently fastest first sector. Let's look at Shazza's first sector quickly. It's going to be a 22.362, so 65 thousandths of improvement. Tilted is very quick in the first sector, I can already now say. Tilted's now second sector. It's gonna be a 52.286, so he's 34 thousandths down on his time. Shazza's second sector is improving. No, he's not. 45 thousandths down. But I suspect that he was blocked through the third sector, so he's going to gain massive amount of time through the sector. Tilted, he's crossing the line, and he does improve his time, 118.804, so maybe he was as well blocked, or maybe made a massive mistake in that sector. Shazza crosses the line, and he goes P3, 118.033, so I guess he was as well blocked by Albo. I mean, Shazza was blocked by Albo a little bit, but with Tilted, I don't know, maybe he was blocked, or maybe just a made up massive mistake that he got it corrected, but just lost like 3 tenths, or almost 4 tenths on his lap. So he's now in the no man's area, like 4 tenths ahead of his teammate, but then 4 tenths behind Lamar. I mean, obviously it's not exactly like 4 tenths ahead of Stag, it's like I don't know, but it's not like actually like 4 tenths. It's a bit less, but I rounded off. Shaz on any laps, still did on any lap. Marco going out on track on the new softs. So it's pretty close. I mean, it depends where you look at it. If it's like between Hennessy to Le Mans, it's pretty close. But if it's like tilted, then you're not as close to Le Mans, but you aren't close to Le Mans, but you're close to your teammate either. Marco is somewhat close to Stack, so if he makes a little bit of improvements, I mean, 20% of improvement isn't that little. It is. I mean, it depends. What's your time? If it's like, it also depends. If you do like a time of 121.1 in here, and then the next car is like Alba with 119.763, then that is a little bit of time improvement. But if you're like Reggie on the pole position, then 2 tenths is massive. It's a massive improvement. Marco starts his flying lap. Sort of similar names. I mean, one started with M and one starts with S, but still you say them almost similarly. Marco with 2 tenths of improvement through the first sector already, so already ahead of Stag, provisionally. Through turn 6, I mean it's a flat, turn 7 and 8, and this is the corner where you can gain or lose everything. It's just one corner. Turn 7, sorry, that is 9, with no troubles. Turn 10, 4 tenths of improvement. So if he improves yet another 2 tenths, he could be ahead of Tilted. Yeah, he could be ahead of Tilted even. Turn 13 and into the chicane. Turn 14, 15, nose your tires, and turn 16 flat. And Marco, where is he gonna go? Is he gonna go ahead of Tilted? Yes, he does. 118.684, over a tenth faster than Tilted. It's a brilliant lap from the Haas. But it doesn't look like on the other side. Very good lap from Marco and the Haas, and even very good times from the McLarens. But I was gonna say Mercedes are down in the bottom 15, but Coke already put his car into P5, 118.330, so it's very close between Hennessy, Coke, Noise and Le Mans. Matt starts his flying lap. He needs to finish this. He shouldn't be pushing 110%. He should be like maybe 90 to like clearly get that lap done. Stack has made a mistake in the third sector on his out lap. Niklas starts flying lap. Matt's first sector 22.096. That could have been a purple first sector. Niklas's first sector. If he's gonna improve on his time, is he improving? Yes, he is, but only 9 hundredths. So a little bit of improvement. Albo's first sector, it's gonna be a 22.401, and he's 2 tenths up on his time. Matt's second sector 51.632. Stack's first sector I can't see, but Matt through the chicane and then turn 16. Everything went well and he crosses the line. He goes P1 117.666. Almost a tenth faster than Reggie. That's 8 hundredths faster than Reggie. Niklas second sector. Well, I can't see any. I can't see any anymore, can I? Neither Stacks second sector, so I have no idea if they're improving. Matilda could be actually out of this qualifying. Niklas does improve, but not enough to go ahead of Stag. Albo, he's improved in his time quite a lot, more than Niklas. Does he go ahead of Stag? Yes, he does, but behind Tilted, 118.865. Stack crosses the line. Does he go ahead of his teammate? Yes, he does. He pushes his own teammate down. into bottom 10, and that is Stag into top 10. I mean, it was one or the other. Sorry, and it is Stag out of Tilted. So it is Tilted, Elbow, Niklas, Gemini, who didn't get a lap in. Had some issues with his game, I guess. He joined in, but then I guess he left. He couldn't set a time in. And Sparko, who crashed out earlier on in this qualifying. But Matt at the top, Reggie P2, Alex P3, Shaza P4. So it is looking rather interesting in the top 4 between Ferrari and Red Bull. Hennessy 5th, Coke 6th, Noise 7th, Lamas 8th, Marco 9th, and Stag in the top 10 at the last minute. And now we move on to Q3, where it all matters. Now this matters heavily for the top teams. More obviously everyone who has gone through the Q3, and Matt already retires. So alright, so we guess he has a Q3 ban. Next race penalties. Oh yeah, so Shazan and Matt have 5-second time penalties, but let's look at the reports. Alright, yes, so Matt has a Q3 ban, so that's why he retired. I suspected that he has one since he retired immediately, but now that I can confirm it, he has a Q3 ban after he basically crashed out Reggie out. Yes, out. Saying the word out in like 2 out of 3 words that I've said in that one sentence. Actually, yeah, anyways. Yeah, so Matt has a Q3 ban. Noise, Lamas, Marco, Reggie, and Hennessy out on track. Now Alex and Stag going out on track as well. Still Coke, Shaza in the pits. Noise is gonna be shortly in a small amount of time starting his flying lap. Let's look at this onboard. Everyone is gonna be on soft, so nobody cares about the tire details. On the straight with the DRS and the DRS hot lap, 316 kilometers an hour into turn 1 and turn 2. Very nicely done, but he loses the car out of nowhere. And that's the lap gone. Now we go with Hennessy through turn 3. That's an easy flat, and into first sector to 22.158. Fourth corner, very nicely done, and into turn 5. Down to 4th gear with Hennessy using all that curb on Nixos as possible. Now into turn 7 and 8. Here he can get a lot of oversteer. And into turn 9 for some a little bit of a lift, but for some maybe if higher downforce than flat. Second sector 51.471 from the McLaren. Here you want to ride as wide as possible, but then tighten on the entry. Turn 12 like a normal long right hander. Turn 13 easy right, and then the chicane. Don't want to run on those sausage curbs, and neither run on that exit sausage curb. Turn 16 easy flats, and Hennessy crosses line. He does 117.414. Noise does a 125.278, but he had his one. Sparko P2 119.201. Coke starts his flying lap. Lamas is going to be finishing his lap with the DRS open 118.168. Down the back, that was Shaza who was... Oh, some interesting. We will see some interesting slipstream action. Reggie with a 126.183, but Reggie gets now the DRS slipstream from Shazza. Quite important one because that straight is pretty long. Alex, where is he gonna go? He's gonna go P3 118.367 in the Ferrari. Spag causing yellow flags down in the final chicane. Messed up his lap in the chicane, or turn 13 maybe, and going very slowly into the pits like he would have a puncture or something. Noise crossing line, and he's gonna improve his time into P2 118.044. Coke on a flying lap as well behind him, and there's open. He's gonna cross line. He goes P5 118.755. Marca goes into the pits. Reggie has Hennessy up ahead, but he lets him through. Reggie now through the final chicane, turn 14. 15 don't want to run on those sausage curbs at all. And there is open. Crossing line, he goes P1 117.195. Absolutely different times that what we saw from the from Q2. The fastest time out there was like a 117.666 said by Matt, but since Matt has a qualifying ban, sorry, Q3 ban, he'll be starting 10th unless someone just randomly decides to disqualify themselves. Noise on an in lap, Coke on an in lap, Shazza on a flying lap, 22.177 in the first sector, second sector turn 5. Down to second gear, so Hennessy was up to 4th. Shazza went down to second gear through turn 5, so very different gear styles, I guess. How you ride your gears, I don't know. Reggie giving a small slipstream down to the back straight. Turn 11 nicely, and into turn 12. Just keeping on the inside as much as possible because the exit run doesn't matter as much. Into the chicane and through the final corner. Don't want to put as much as input and don't want to ride that curb, and Shazza crosses the line. He goes P17 156.2, and he is now the only car out on track with 5 minutes to go. So guys are gonna be sitting for like 2 minutes, 1.5 to 2 minutes in their garages, just relaxing and then picking the right time to go out, or maybe even in 1 minute, like at 4-minute marker, or like 3:30, so that you don't get into that traffic. Into the traffic. Coke is already going out on track. Already. That's earlier than I expected. Coke is going out now on track. Is there anyone else trying to go out on track? No, not really. Not really anyone going out on track at the moment. So Coke is now going to be the only car out on track, since Shazza is going to be going in and destroying a bollard as well, going in. Anyone in? No, not anyone in the pit, not going out. Yeah, that's what I sort of expected to, Gemini. I mean, this game likes to crash at the beginning of the game's cycle. There was an issue that the game just crashed. That's why I said that you probably had some troubles with the game, just not wanting to do a partnership with you, or partnership supports you or something in those ways. I can't. Going out this early for Coke could be. I mean, we'll see if anyone is going out at this moment. Doesn't look like that anyone is going. And Coke is exiting the final corner, so he timed this perfectly. Although he's not going. He's just not running. He's not going. They're the first cars out on track. That's Hennessy and Marco going out on track. But I don't understand Coke's strategy. It's just burn off fuel, I guess, now. I still don't understand his strategy. Noise going out on track. Now we'll see drivers going out on track. That's Lamas. Alex as well out on track. Now Reggie and as well Shazza, and we should see Stag as well going out on track shortly. I mean, it depends if he has the tires to do. Oh yeah, he is out on track, so everyone out on track. Oh, obviously when you see that one Ferrari, that's Matt, who has retired. Coke leaving some space, burning some tires and some fuel. I'm sort of confused. What is he really doing? At Marco is gonna be starting his final flying lap, and into turn 1, 315 kilometers an hour into turn 1, turn 2 up to 6th gear, and then turn 3 easy flat. And the first sector, easy improving his time. Yes, he is by 1.5 tenths up on his time. Turn 4 was nicely done into turn 5. A little bit of water on the entry, but got it turned in. He was in 4th gear in there. Turn 7 and 8. Going a little bit wide. That's not the optimal line. Through turn 9. He must done and into turn 10. Second sector, 4.5 tenths up on his time, so provisionally he will be P7. That's one of the McLarens off track. That could be Lamas. Yeah, that's Lamas out off track down in turn 3. So his lap is done. His lap is done in 1:18.168. Marco's chicane was nicely done, and the final corner nicely done, taking a tighter line for some reason, and Marco goes up to P6, 1:18.317. Hennessy improved his time to 1:17.360. Coke doesn't improve on his time, but not enough to position-wise. Alex, does he improve his time enough to go into provisional position? No. 1:17.664. There is still Noise improving his time, and he goes P2, 1:17.354, just 6 thousandths out of Hennessy. There is still Shazza. No, there isn't. Shazza is done. So, and Lamas has messed up his lap, so Reggie is on pole position for the Spanish Grand Prix, but Reggie wants to go under 1:16. Doesn't get it. Yes, he does. 1:16.859. That's half a second faster than Noise. Half a second faster than the next car behind, and that's 7 tenths ahead of the teammate Shazza. What a beautiful lap set by Reggie. Absolutely no competition as well. Matt has that qualifying ban, so taking the full advantage of it. So Reggie is on pole position for the Spanish Grand Prix here in BPRL. Noise is going to be starting P2 after a beautiful lap as well in the Alpine. just a rocket ship of a car in terms of midfield performance. Hennessy in P3 as well, very good lap from him in the McLaren. Shazam down in P4, unable to set another lap. Alex P5, Lamas P6, Marco P7, Coke down P8, Stack P9, and Matt in 10th after serving his Q3 ban on this track. And now we go into the race. In here, the start is gonna be very important to get a very good run, because the run is quite long down to turn 1. So if you get a good start, then you could be up by a few positions of the start. But as well into turn 1, it depends as well if you want to risk it into turn 1, like sending it there. It just depends if you want to send it there or not. But yeah. On the formation lap. Formation laps should be starting shortly, in a few secs. So formation lap has started, and immediately let's look at the tires. So the tires, most of the drivers for the mediums, Noise, Marco, both the Williamses and Oriel opting for the hard compound, and Albo for the softs. So very aggressive of the start he's gonna be. He's gonna be very aggressive of the start. Oreo, no, that's not Oreo, that's Nicholas staying on the formation, on this grid. Weirdly enough. But there is a few different strategies. I mean, it's for some it's still the same. It's still the same concept, but just the different way. Different way. Just it's medium hards or hard mediums. For Albo, I have no idea what he's gonna be doing. Maybe soft to medium, maybe, or soft hard. Oh, there's Lamas spun, but it could be soft hard if he's gonna think of a strategy. If I have to think of a strategy for the softs, as Albo has spun while going through the alternative route, as well as one of the Ferraris that was Coke, I believe. Matt as well, now off in the gravel in turn 12. The drivers already lining up for the grids, although the field is pretty much spread like butter on a fresh piece of toast. It's like all over the place, if that makes any sense. Reggie taking a bit of a angle. Why is this camera like this? I don't want that camera. I would like to how it was. See, we can see that the Reggie is on a small angle to defend immediately from noise. Let's see how it will actually work in practice. It could in theory it could work, but let's see how it will work in practice. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and the lights are out. And away we go here in Spain. Reggie gets a decent enough start to keep himself ahead in the lead. Alex as well gets a very good start, already up into 3rd place. What are these cameras? Noise is down in 4th. Alex is up into P3. Hennessy is up into P2. Nicholas getting DSQ'd immediately after just not going off the start. Meanwhile, behind their yellow flags, that's Coke. That's Coke spun after turn 3, and that is front wing damaged completely. So there's been some contact between Coke and one of the drivers. Meanwhile, Marco and Martin, they're fighting for P12. Marco getting a horrible start off the line, down P8 from like P8 from P8. Yeah, but he's down by 5 places. He was starting 5th. Sparker getting a very good start off the line, up by 6 places. Now he's 6th place. Although if he can get Stag has been a bit pushed wide. But now Sparker around the outside, the contact between those two. And now into turn 13. Sparker's ahead, but now the two AlphaTauris are going to be fighting in the chicane. Stag cuts the chicane, but gives up the position too tilted. And now Stag has to defend himself from Marco and Gemini if he wants to keep the 11th place. Marco is really trying to get himself ahead of the AlphaTauri, and he gets himself in turn 2. But does Stag get it? No, he had a bit of a snap on the exit of turn 2, or midway through turn 2. Stag has lost 1 place. Does he lose another one? He goes wide in turn 4. Oh, that's tilted a little bit in troubles as well. He had a massive moment, and Gemini gets the move done in P5 in turn 5. Coke has pitted for the new wing. Down in 19th. Absolute horrible of a start to this race for Coke, pinning for the hearts. Not for the softs actually. A bit of a weirder tire change. But Shaza got himself ahead of Noise, so Noise is down P5 from the hards, but he was starting on the hards, so it's very difficult to keep your starting position. Matt has gained 4 places on the start as well as we start lap 3. He's up to 6th, and his next target is gonna be Noise at the Alpine. Theirs has been enabled. Albo is already up to 8th with the softs. Sparko is up to 9th from P15, so a very good start for him. Gemini is up to 12th as well, so a decent start. Stag getting a horrible start to this race, down P13. The Williams is taking being up by 1 positions from Coke's spin, or like contact with another driver, and Niklas, who just didn't go off the grid. So at the moment it looks very horrible for Aston Martin, as one has been DSQ'd and Orieo is down in 18th without DRS. Alex was close to Hennessy, but now Shaza has closed up to Alex, so Alex could have done a mistake somewhere. Let's see how quickly does Shaza overtake Alex. Meanwhile as well, Matt, does he overtake Noise on this straight, on this lap? We'll see. Shaza is catching, but he doesn't want to overtake him into turn 1. Not yet. Meanwhile, Matt does overtake Noise into turn 1, and Noise has at the moment no answer to that. Has no answer. Meanwhile, front, Hennessy and Reggie, they're fighting for P1. Down to P5, turn 5. Hennessy gets the move done, but only temporarily, as Reggie gets the switchback done. And into turn 7, neither driver does. Hennessy goes on the sausage curb and loses the car. So he is now 7 tenths down on Reggie, but amazing car control saved him from losing more places. That Gravity spun where Hennessy could have spun himself, and that as well Stag spun on the X of turn 9. So 2 drivers spun in 2 different corners. Stag in P9 on the X of turn 9, and Gravity exiting turn 8. Up front, no, Hennessy is way too far back to even think of an overtake on Hennessy. Meanwhile, behind them, Shaza easily gets the move done on Alex. Alex tried defending off, but couldn't do anything. Lamas overtakes Noise into turn 1. Noise is losing places almost every single lap, and he now goes wide in turn 3. Albo takes the advantage of it, and Albo is up to P7. Noise just doesn't have the confidence on the hards, but as well could be that just the mediums are the one too fast at the moment. Gravity again spins now in turn 3. So I guess a very oversteery setup for Gravity, not thinking enough that the Williams doesn't have that much grip at all, or downforce, what I meant. Alex still within this the 1 second of Shazza, so he's gonna get the DRS. He's too far back to think an overtake, but he can a little bit gain on Shazza, or keep up with Shazza, because Shazza is actually pulling away from Alex. Up front, Hennessy and Reggie, they again fight for P1. Into turn 1, Hennessy was ahead, but now Reggie gives again the switchback. Now into turn 4, again, here we go. Oh, that was a little bit too close for comfort in terms of any sort of contact. Now into turn 5, Hennessy sends it. Reggie, does he keep it on the outside? Yes, he does, but he was forced off track. And now Hennessy has the inside line into turn 7. Hennessy, oh, there was a big contact between those. Does Reggie have any damage? And does Hennessy have any damage? Into turn 10. Reggie is forced around the outside to think of a move, but Reggie gets the switch back as Hennessy makes a mistake in turn 11. And Reggie is back up to P1. Gravity again spins in turn 3, the same exact spot, sorry. Meanwhile, Shazza and Alex, they have caught up to those tests. Shazza spins, getting caused by Alex hitting him. So Shazza is now down P5 without any DRS. Hennessy has to close up to Reggie again. Meanwhile, as Matt easily overtakes Alex. I think that was a bit of a let through, not really fighting in the Ferrari garage. Meanwhile, Albo gets the move done on Lamas. Into turn 1, still somewhat quick on the softs. Tires are a bit overheating though, so that is going to be one of the now problems with those tires. Stack overtakes Chris in turn 3. Are they still finding now? Oh, Chris is actually lagging a bit, a little bit. Up front, Matt doesn't have actually that good of a pace. He's not catching up to the top 2. Meanwhile, Noise makes a mistake in turn 11 and going to turn 12, and he's now lost positions down to P11. And Shimona takes out a very interesting line through going to turn 14. So he could be now getting overtaken by Noise. Gravity again spun in turn 3. Shimona is as well using ERS. Noise though is catching up a little bit, little by little. Lamas overtakes Albo into turn 1, and now Albo down to P8 now as he gets overtaken by Sparko. So now he's experiencing that tire problem as Hennessy, who was fighting for P1, is now down in P5 with possibly broken front wing. If this game would, I mean, it looked like that he has a broken front wing. I think he has a broken front wing. Yes, he does have a broken front wing. 3-second time penalty for him as well. He's tumbling down the auto with a... Even he's ghosted for some reason, so Tilted gets him easily through Hennessy, weirdly enough. Hennessy now with a broken front wing. And now he's getting pushed by Gemini. And turn 13, Gemini attacks him. And he gets him moved on as well. Noise is going to be trying to overtake him around the outside. Hennessy was a bit squeezed and he goes into the pits. That's Shazza on the straight without a front wing and spun. What has happened to Shazza? What has happened to Shazza here? I mean, that's a very weird... You cannot spin on the straight. He has to now fully go through I don't even know what to say. I mean, completely speechless what's happening. Hennessy in the pits, changing off his front wing, and now Shazza, who has no front wing, was spun on the straight. Now Hennessy spins because of the cold tires, or makes a mistake. I don't know if he actually spun, but makes a mistake. Chris overtakes Hudson around outside of turn 5, and he makes a move on. But Shazza was just spun in the middle of the straight, on the start finish straight, and now he has to go full on lap, a full lap without a front wing. That's, I mean, could be, maybe it could be that something has happened between Shazza and Alex, that Alex just turned in on him, just completely took him out. But as well, last time that I checked, Shazza wasn't even that close to Alex, so I don't know. Tilted gets overtaken by Gemini into turn 1, and as well Lamont gets overtaken by Sparko into turn 1, so 2 overtakes at once in one corner. Shazza goes into the pit to change off his wing and the tires. Ideally, or ideally, it's not gonna be ideal to be this far back, as Chris and Hudson, they fight for P12 now. That's Hennessy spun on the exit of turn 16, very far out from the track in the gravel. Down in 18th. His race has literally gone down from being somewhat of a... It was a very good race up until he just lost the car, as now Coke has lost the car in turn 3, and now Hennessy has lost the car, so what... And he retires on track. He sees no point in the race anymore, as he's gonna be getting lapped shortly. Sparko going in this lap. A very early call to go to the pits. Meanwhile, Noise is gonna be overtaken, tilted into turn 1 with the help of the DRS, and he gets moved on, and he goes up to P6. Sparko to the hearts, obviously. Does he get ahead of Stag? Yes, he does, but Stag has those warmed up tires, so Stag could be a little bit of a threat for Sparko on this opening lap, as obviously those tires are very much cold. Yeah, Stag has already caught up to him like a second, and he's gonna be catching up to him here by a few tenths, and then here by a few tenths. But now Sparko's, I mean, not really warmed up, but now Stag shouldn't be catching up that quickly. And Stag isn't really catching the Sparko anymore, so Sparko is ahead of Stag, so he's in P10. Martin has that penalty, by the way. That's a 3-second. That's Marco spun on the exit of turn 15, and he has lost the train that he was with, and he's now 7.5 seconds behind Tilted. And now he is in no man's land. Is 7.6 seconds behind Tilted and 7.2 seconds ahead of Martin. I mean, if he makes a mistake, then he's gonna be behind Martin. But if otherwise, it's gonna be very boring for him. Martin has a 3-second time penalty, by the way. Who has pitted? Look at pit stops. So Sparko, Albo, Shaza and Coke, they have made their pit stops. Hennessy has as well, but he's not racing anymore. He's out of the race. Reggie in the lead, somewhat comfortably, 3.3 seconds out of Matt. So I mean, Matt isn't really catching up either. I think Reggie is actually gapping the Ferrari behind him. Tilted goes into the pits as Gravity spins again in turn 3, like for the 4th time or 5th time maybe even. But yeah, Tilted into the pits to change to the hard compact tires. Stag overtakes Martin, overtakes Tilted. Stag does overtake Sparko. Neither of the driver has a DRS, and now Sparko is a bit. Oh, it's gonna be very close. Tilted on the cold hearts. He is gonna lose his position because there's no grip. As Tilted spins. Tilted spins. In turn 3, I think there was a bit of contact between those two, or maybe could be as well that Tilted was pushing too hard on those hearts. Gravity spins. And now Tilted is gonna be getting attacked by Hudson. Meanwhile, Albo overtook Stag. So Sparko regains his P9. Gravity again is spinning. Fair play to him that he's actually still going, even though his tires are cooked. And by that image, probably his rear wing is a bit damaged. Lamas gets overtaken by Gemini. Gemini, by the way, very good race. Up until this point, Gravity again spins. But Gemini, very good race. Up until this point. P4 from P15. 14. Tilted overtakes Chris. Whoa, that's no, that was Gravity. That was Gravity. Hudson goes into the pits. Obviously not ideal that a driver spins. Obviously that's not ideal, but if a driver spins and it's someone who is like lapped down by everyone who is actually racing, actually not, because Hudson is in the pits. So yeah, fair play to him. He's still going. He's probably having fun. Other ones. He's probably having yeah. He's now doing donuts. I mean, fair play to him that he's still going with 20 laps to go. Actually, for him, like what is less. I would recommend for him to go for another set of tires. Gemini and Lamas, they pit from the mediums to the hards. Obviously, there's nothing else there's nothing else that you can pit for. I mean, obviously, there is the mediums again, or softs, or inters or wets. But I mean, who is gonna pit again for mediums when it's a medium hard or hard medium strategy? Oh, they could be somewhat close to Martin. Martin is very close behind Lamas. Lamas obviously with those coat hearts. Could Martin possibly overtake Lamas, taking the advantage that he has those that he has to warm up those hearts? No, I don't know. Although Lamas understeering going to turn 4. Does Martin send him to turn 5? No, he doesn't. He probably knows that he has a different race than to Lamas, as Shaza spins in turn 2. Yeah, for him as well. A disappointing race after, I guess, being spun by Alex. I'm suspecting twice, because in the chicane, spun, and as well on the straight. I'm suspecting, I'm not confirming, but I'm suspecting. Matt going into the pits to pit off from the hard, so he's gonna be ahead of Marco, but behind Noise. Noise still yet to pit from those hards. Drivers who are yet to still pit are stops. That's Hudson out. That's Hudson out of the Grand Prix, and that is a full course safety car, which is not a very good sight for Matt, as he literally pitted this lap. He pitted this lap, and now he could be behind his teammates. He could be even behind Noise, but it's a very, very crucial safety car for Reggie, Alex, and Noise, and also for everyone who haven't pitted yet. For those who have just pitted, it's a very disappointing sight that they could have just lost like 2 or 1 more lap, or however the many laps that they want to last for. Now the drivers can just pit for the new common tires, and they're not gonna really lose much time. But for Matt, it's somewhat importantly to get off Noise. Alex can let him through easily, but it's important for Matt to get ahead of Noise. Everyone pitting for the new tires. Shazza gets another chance in this race to maybe even get back into back in the game. Matt goes ahead of both Alex and Noise, so he didn't lose much time actually. Marco goes in. It's very important to not actually go over the time. Spark and Albo, they pit. I mean, they have been for quite a few laps on those hards. Mark and Martin, they had to pit. Tilted goes out of them. And those hards, Albo pitting to mediums. Yeah, but basically these 4 pitted to mediums. Stag, no, he's gonna be behind those 4. Then it's Chris, then Oriel, then Shazza, and then Coke. Let's see if I mean, he's not in AI, let's put it that way. So maybe he has realized that there's still a race to do, and he's back in the game as well. He is back in the game. He has another chance to maybe get to the points, possibly to the points. Tilden gets a 3-second time penalty, really, under the safety car, pushing a little bit too hard under the safety car. But now we see that it's very interesting with the tires. Some are on the hards, on the older or fresher. Some are on the mediums. Pretty much the same amount of laps on the mediums. Well, besides Oreo and Shella, but I mean, it's not that big of a difference if it's under the safety car. If it's softs, then it will make a difference. But I mean, if it's like on the hards, wouldn't make much of a difference. If it would have been on the inters or wets, I mean, it wouldn't do much. One lap fresher inters or wets, they wouldn't really make a difference at all in terms of time gain. Maybe like few hundreds, but not like tenths, not like few tenths. I mean, on one lap fresher tires, I mean, you're not really making a few tenths on a lap, like maybe 1/10, 2/10, 1/10 to 1/2 tenths maybe per lap. Depends obviously on your wear, how many percent do you have wear. But the gravity resides, so he had enough of this spinning and everything. But I mean, he had somewhat of a good reason to his eye. I mean, he was lapped down, possibly 3-wing damage, and just his car was all over the place, literally. yeah, he had somewhat of a good reason to retire. Let's look at quickly the position changes. Reggie and Lamar, they have stayed in their respective positions. Matt has moved up by 8 positions. Alex 2 positions up. Noise 2 positions down. Gemini 9 positions up. Tilted 4 positions up. Marco 1 position down. Martin 7 positions up. Sparko 5 positions up. Albo 1 position up. Stack 3 positions down. Chris 7 positions up. Oreo 5 positions up. Shaza 11 positions down. And Coke 8 positions down. Safety car is out here for another lap. Everyone has made their pit stops, so nothing to worry about the pit stops. If anyone wonders. Coke pits for the new rubber, for new mediums, I'm assuming, since, well, he's caught up to the pack. Oh, and he's even changing his front wing, so that's even better, to change off your front wing and your hard tires to the fresh mediums. Let's pull up the lap data quickly. Let me just quickly check on the fuel situation. Reggie plus. Is anyone on the minus? I'm just checking if anyone is on the minus actually. Now pretty much everyone is like on +1 lap of fuel. Oh no, Oreo is on plus 0.2 laps of fuel. Shaza's on and Coke is gonna be like within few corners. But yeah, some people went for lower amount of fuel, some went for the more. The less fuel that you have, the faster that you will go. But obviously, there's a risk going on the minus, depending if on a track that you're running, you will get actually the fuel back, and as well if there's gonna be a safety car. Safety car is in this lap, so the tire warming starts, well, for some people now. For some people it started earlier because they knew that the safety car is going in this lap. Reggie going incredibly slowly, but pretty much everyone does. Warming up those tires as much as possible. Matt has incredibly cold tires, like 70-degree tires now, doing a Verstappen. Reggie is going. Yep, Reggie's going, so the race hasn't restarted. You still cannot overtake, but now you can overtake. So the real racing has begun. Marco, a little bit of sleeping on the restart, weaving to get the tires up to temperature, as pretty much everyone. Oreo getting gapped by the top 3 cars, Shaz and Coke, as they fight into turn 1. Oh, there's a bit of conflict between them. That could have been damage for Shaza. Front wing damage for Shaza. But Coke is ahead of Shaza. Up to P14. Up front, nothing has really changed. Coke overtakes Chris, so he's up to P14. Spark overtakes Martin on the exit of turn 5, going to turn 6 and going to turn 7. Gets the move done. And he's up to P9. Shaza is now a bit stuck behind Chris. Turn 9 is in the best overtaking spot. He can't get into turn 10. He will even on the exit of turn 9 because Chris went really wide. Now Martin is now behind Albo, so he's down from points. He's out of the points. Well, pretty much Tilted is still in with his penalties even, because the next Martin would be in that penalty zone, but he has that 3-second top penalty as well, so Tilted will be getting a one point. Noise fighting with Alex, as Alex, like, I guess he let it through. or something. Maybe there's a bit contact between them. But Alex is now down P4. Noise on those mediums is gonna be pushing like hell to get. They will go until the end. They will go until the end. But it's now. What position can he get? Is he gonna finish P3? Or is he gonna go P2? Yeah, possibly P1, but Reggie has been incredibly quick throughout this race and throughout qualifying as well. Coke and Shazza, they've been stuck a bit behind Stag. Shazza has been a bit sandwiched. Stag send it on Coke. And Coke is now ahead of Stag, although Stag is still in there. His nose is still in there. Coke is wide. These are handling positions. This has been enabled. Stag is defending like a madman. Coke now makes a mistake on the exit of turn 15 going to turn 16, and Shazza makes the move on. Gets the move on. And is now up to P13. Now we'll see if Stag is going to be still fighting Shazza like a madman. Or now Shazza, is he going to attack, defend for him like a madman, or is he going to let him through? No, he's letting him through. Some sister team work out here. Stag is defending like a madman from Coke, but Coke gets moved on with a 3, but he got a 3-second time penalty. He had absolutely none of it, and he just wanted to get up Stag, and he's ahead of Stag, but as a consequence gets a 3-second time penalty. Up front, drivers are close between each other, but not close enough to get within the overtaking zone. Lamas gets a 3-second time penalty. Noise is closer to Matt than Matt to Reggie, but Matt has that DRS, so he can't really do anything about it. Matt catching up to Reggie, but Matt obviously has that DRS. Reggie has less DRS than Matt. Albo, his game has crashed or disconnected him, so it's good news for Martin, but very bad news for Albo. Yeah, Matt at the moment is not in that 1 second zone. And is he out of it? Yes, he is. He won't have the DRS for his back straight. Shazza as well overtakes Albo as Chris spins on the exit of turn 4 and is now down P16 with 10 seconds down on Orieu. Coco as well overtakes Albo. Up front, Reggie is pulling away from Matt. Although that chicane, Matt has gained a bit, but Matt still doesn't have that DRS. Reggie with a new fast lap, 120.145. Albo joins back, but it's already too late. He has lost 4 positions. So he is down in P14. Noise can now somewhat gain on Matt, because Matt doesn't have the DRS. Albo's AI actually went to the pits, which is gonna make him fuming, because why would you pit when the tires are gonna be lasting until the end easily? I mean, it depends. I wouldn't say easily, but they can last until the end. It just depends on how you work them. Marco is still behind Tilted, doesn't really want to overtake him since Tilted has a 3-second time penalty. We'll see what he will do. I mean, either he's gonna attack Tilted, or is he gonna defend from Sparko. Marco doesn't have much ERS. Sparko has a lot more, and there's a contact between Marco and Sparko. Marco goes very wide, and Sparko on the outside into turn 12. Does he make the move down? No. Although Sparko is still there. Sparko is still there into the chicane. Don't they go side by side? Yes, they do. There was a little bit of contact. Sparko has lost a bit of time as he had a little bit of moment. I mean, Marco and Sparko, they have lost some time to Tilted now. Both. Tilted has no ERS left. Sparko has even less. Sparko has more ERS than those two combined, and even has and even more in the reserve. Martin loses the P11 to Coke. I guess that 1 point that he could have gotten is slipping away more and more as we go into the race. Lap 25 out of 33. Albo has joined back, but I mean, look at him. I mean, down in P16, hit it. His AI hit it for some reason, and now the best thing that he can actually do is just to finish out of on teammate Chris. That's the best thing that he can do. Noise is still close behind Matt. Matt still unable to catch up to Reggie, although Matt is quicker through the chicane, but Reggie has a better exit. Always. Shazak gets Sparko. Lamas gets another 3-second time penalty. Oh, he could be in trouble. Sparko gets as well a 3-second time penalty. Lamas could be a little bit in trouble. Since he has 6-second time penalties, he now has to pull away from Tilted, but not only from Tilted, as well from Marco. From Shaza, I don't know how is he gonna do that, but I mean, Shaza has no ERS left, so Shaza is in the points. He's gonna be ahead of Tilted. Well, at the moment, Shaza is within Lamas' 3 seconds. Shaza maybe doesn't know this. Lamas neither doesn't know this, unless they have this stream on. But if they don't have my stream on, then neither of them know that Shaza is within that 6-second time penalties. Within that 6 seconds. Marco is catching up to Tilt a little bit, but Shaza is even more catching to Marco. Up front, Reggie is still pulling away from Matt. Noise is still unable to overtake Matt anywhere. Just not really using ERS on this long straight. Gemini neither can't overtake really. Alexis, what's it now? Could we see a bit of overtaking action into turn 4? Alex made a little bit of a mistake in turn 4, 2, or actually 1. That put him off into turn 2, but no, Gemini still stays in behind Alex as... Ooh, there's a little moment for Gemini as he lost 2 tenths on there. Shaza. No, Noise. No, Noise is quite close to Matt. Under 4 tenths. Going to turn 10. 3 tenths. Under 3 tenths. Chris spins on the exit of turn 2. Could we see Noise overtaking Matt? And possibly... No, actually... No, Shaza and P2 in the championship. So Matt would still gain... I mean, he would gain on Shaza. He would be still leading the championship. But Reggie would be somewhat close to him in the standings. Noise tries to send it into turn 1. He does send it into turn 1. Has Matt? Does Matt have any sort of answer to that going to turn 4 and 5? Or maybe later in the lap? The answer is no, for now. Gemini still can't overtake Alex. At the moment, with these results now, with the Ferrari finishing, well, at the moment, actually, Alex has that. Matt Matt has that 5-second time penalty because of the previous race. Sheza has as well a 5-second time penalty from the previous race. But the moment he would only lose the P9 to only Sparko. So there'll be one point down only. He would only lose 1 point. Matt, he would lose the P3 to Alex and Gemini. He would lose the positions down to P5 because of his 5-second time penalty that he got from the last race, and that is awarding for this race. Penalty system, I guess, that's how it is made up here. But every single league has a different league penalty system. Meanwhile, Shaza overtakes Marco into turn 1 and is up to P8 for now. Tilted is still within Lamas's 6 seconds, but barely. With 4 laps to go, he could be out of it. Marco could be actually getting a P6 because Shaza has a 5-second time penalty from the previous race. Tilted has 3 seconds. Lamas has 6 seconds. Behind him, Spark has 3 seconds. So Marco could be actually getting a P6 out of P9. Very nicely. So let's see if actually... I mean, I think Alex is not catching up to Matt. Reggie set a new false lap 119.851. Matt, I think, is a little bit gaining on Matt, as that is Coke spinning on the X of turn 12, 13, and he is now down in P13. So he has basically ruined his second chance of getting some points. Now he is down in P13. Meanwhile, Shaza overtakes Tilted. He needs to make up the positions as quick as possible. Marco spins in turn 3, and his P6 that he could have possibly gotten because of the penalties that the 4 drivers ahead of him would get. Lamas with a 6 seconds, Shaza with a 5 seconds, Tilted with 3 seconds. He is now down P10, 4 seconds behind Sparko. So he would, at this moment, he would stay in P10. His P6 are gone, unless somehow he just gains like a few seconds in like few laps. That's very unfortunate for Marco, but life is unfair, and Shaza is catching up to Lamas and creating a bigger and bigger gap to Tilted, who has 3 seconds, and Sparko has 3 seconds. So at the moment he would be still P9, but there are still 2 laps to go. Meanwhile, behind, Sparko is battling Tilted for P8 into turn 1, and he gets the move done. Coke goes into the pits, changing to the softs. No, retiring, not even taking the fastest lap. Not even taking the fastest lap from Reggie. Interesting. Well, hasn't Reggie led every single lap? I mean, there was a time when Hennessy fought with Reggie, but he didn't cross the line, I feel like, in P1. I don't know, that should be checked. Gemini has lost a little bit of time to Alex, and Matt has gained quite some time on Alex. The gap is now 4.4. Matt is now overtaking Noise on the main straight, feeling that he has more speed. I mean, he's quicker than Noise, and the 5-second time penalty. I mean, he would still lose the Noise, the P3, anyways. But now he could be. I mean, he's still behind Alex. It's just that penalty. Gemini going a little slower in turn 4. Maybe a mistake. But the moment Matt will be still in P4. He'll be still down P4. He is gonna be behind Noise anyways, unless Noise is gonna spin. But then with the gaps, the gap is increasing. Now it's almost 5 seconds. 4.4. Sparkle getting another 3-second time penalty. Shazza now is gonna be finishing in P6. Yeah, if he catches up to Lamar's by, yeah, now he's in within that 6 seconds, so he's gonna be in P6. Shemna has that 3 seconds. Yeah, that's 3 seconds, but Shazza has that 5 seconds. The gap is now about 4.8. It's gonna be very close on this final lap that we have started. Reggie absolutely dominating this race, leading every single lap, or crossing every single lap in first. Just absolutely dominating this race, having the fastest lap at the moment, the only driver to go under 119s. No, actually, Shazza went under 119s, 119.946. But other than Red Bull, nobody has went under 19.119s. And Reggie's taking this final lap easily. Doesn't have to push at all. This final sector, easy make it. Like it's this race, which made it look easy. Just absolute dominance in this race. Final corner to go, and Reggie crosses the line to win in Spain. Noise finishes in P2, Matt P3, Alex P4. So Matt has done it to finish at least in the podium. Gemini P5, Shazza P6, Lamar's P7, Sparko down P9. Or actually, if Marco gets it, and Marco is now up in P9, tilted P8, Marco P9, Sparko P10, Martin P9, P11, Stack P12, Albo P13, Oreo P14, and Chris in P15. So a very interesting race, I must say. Oh, taking a sip of coffee, I guess, before the finish line, or coffee. I mean, I don't know, coffee, tea, or maybe even a shot of vodka, or a beer, or glass of wine. I don't know, whatever you want to drink at that in the. But the race done. It was a very eventual race. It had, I mean, had some boring moments, but had some good moments. Reggie dominating the race, but not as much dominating. I mean, he was, after Hennessy's spawn, he was always like 2 seconds, 3 seconds out of someone. Yeah. Reggie finishing P1. Drive today. Could be Shazza. Could be Matt. Could be Gemini. Who would be here as well? I don't know. Mart. I mean, maybe the. Mark as well had a great race until his mistake. The nominees, in my opinion, the worthy nominees are, I mean, as well Reggie for absolutely dominating the race, but it could be as well Matt for a nominee, Gemini for a nominee, Shaza for a nominee. I mean, you could put as well Noise for finishing P2 in an Alpine. Yeah, he is in P3, but Matt has 5 seconds, so he's gonna be finishing P2. I mean, it could be the 5 nominees are actually 4 for me. Reggie, Matt. No, it is 5. Reggie, Matt, Noise, Gemini, and Shazad. Those are my 5 nominees. The one I would vote for those 5. I mean, it would probably go down to Reggie. And I mean, it would either go to Reggie or maybe Gemini. But I mean, leading every single lap in a race, you don't really see that often. So even though from Gemini from P14 up to P5, it is very impressive. But I'm gonna have to say Reggie gets that drive today. I think next race, next week. Checking. Like in Ferrari, they never check. Next race is Portugal with a sprint, so it's gonna be very exciting there. In terms of the driver standings, Matt stays. He stays in P1 in the standings. Matt's gonna be very close between Matt, Noise, and Reggie, since Reggie gained on Matt 10 points, and then Noise gained on Matt 3 points. Yeah, 3 points. Shazak gaining, he was 6, so not really gaining on anyone. He's gonna be down 4th. Yeah. And in the constructors, Ferrari were 3rd or 4th. Alpine. It could be. I mean, it is very close between. It's not gonna be AlphaTauri at the top. But it's gonna be either Ferrari or Red Bull. I think that with 3rd and 4th it is 15 and 12, so that's 27. For 1st and 6th, that's 25. Yeah, it's gonna be Red Bull at the top. It's gonna be Red Bull at the top. But Ferrari somewhat close behind them. And could be Alpine in 3rd, then AlphaTauri in 4th. But yeah, next race is gonna be Portugal with a sprint. The championship leader stayed the same. It is still Matt, but in the constructors it is gonna be Red Bull at the top for